Hi viewers, this is Chetan Kumar again from Stiblop Academy and Consultancy. I hope you enjoyed my first video on the product. I hope it was interesting. So this is my second session on the product design and development. In this session, I'm going to explain you about the pre-study. Yeah, let's now deep dive into the session. What is pre-study? The pre-study is a study that involves identifying the problem around us and what is the solution that market is demanding from us. Okay? Yeah. So, in today's session, I'm going to explain you the pre-study that is common for the product design and development process and also for the product management process. So, let's look at the learning objectives today. Let's try to understand who are the stakeholders in an organization. Second one is we will look at the overview of the product management process and finally the pre-study. So, there are a lot of companies in the world who have launched their successful products in the market, and Apple is one of them. Let's see what Steve Jobs have to say about the product and the product development process. Steve Jobs says that making an insanely great product has a lot to do with the process of making the product. How you learn things and adopt new ideas and throw out old ideas. What he basically means is that product development or the creation of a product is a crazy activity which involves a lot of effort and which also involves the process that we follow in developing that product. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is the product management slide which I wanted to tell you. I hope you are familiar with this particular picture which I already showed you in my previous session. Okay, so the product management starts with the product strategy or the business strategy, followed by the product design and development, then product operations and product commercialization. So in this session, we will do the pre-study that involves identification of a problem, new product initiation, goal and vision, product requirements, and the market study. So these four things I will explain you during the advanced course. Okay, moving on. Let's try to understand who are our stakeholders, external stakeholders, and the internal stakeholders. Okay, yeah, these are our external stakeholders. We have the producer, dealer, fleet operator, distributor, retailer, user, and the supplier. So, all these stakeholders are bounded by the supply chain. So, these are the stakeholders who influence the business of the producer. So, here the producer is a person who is a hardcore producer of the product, and that product is sold to the dealer. And from the dealer, the product is bought by the fleet operator. The fleet operator is another business entity or another business organization that uses the product produced by the producer for distributing some of the products to the distributor. And from the distributor, the products reach to the retailer. The retailer is the point of sale of those FMCG products. And from the retailer, it goes to the user. The end users are the consumers who use that products. Okay, and these users are nothing but they are the employees of another organization who is called as a supplier. Okay, so the supplier is that person who supplies the finished and the unfinished products to the producer for build his assembly. He may also even supply the raw material directly or indirectly. Okay, now let's try to understand this supply chain with an example. The best example that I can bring up here is the Tata Motors. Tata Motors produces the commercial vehicles as well as the passenger cars. The commercial vehicles are the trucks. Now let's take the case of the trucks. These trucks are sold to the some dealer, some XYZ dealers. And from these dealers, the fleet operators like VRL Logistics and the DHL Logistics purchase those products. And using those products, they distribute the FMCG products to the FMCG distributor, like our day to day usage items, like toothbrushes, soaps, household utensils, or it could be some eatable items like the cereals or the grains, or it could be the clothes as well, which we are wearing. And from the FMCG distributor, it will reach out to the point of the sales or the retailers. And from these retailers, the employees or the workers who are working in taco buy them, and they uh, further lend their services, like the engineering services or the financial services or HR services or any kind of the work that they do to the supplier, which is taco. Okay. So here TACO stands for Tata Auto Components Limited, which supplies the small systems and the subsystems to the Tata Motors, like the wiping system, steering system, transmission system, or it could be anything. Okay. Now let's look at the internal stakeholders. Internal stakeholders involves the product development team as a first stakeholder, and the other stakeholders are purchasing team, manufacturing team, quality team, should cost team, aftermarket team, homologation and certification team, product planning team, sales and marketing team. And I will speak about each of the uh, stakeholders in the advanced course. Okay. So all these stakeholders are managed by the single department called as a project management department. So basically here what I meant is uh, product development, project management. So this is generally what happens in any organization, friends. Okay. So now moving on, let's try to understand what is the difference between the product and the project. Okay. Basically, project is the sequence of activities that are carried out to produce a product or to create a product. And this project has a start date as well as the end date. And basically, the product is the outcome of that project. There could be n number of the projects running in an organization. Okay. So since I'm from the railway industry, I will explain you these differences by using the railway products and projects. Okay. So what are the products that are owned by our Indian Railways? Intercity train. Intercity train is that product which runs between the cities. Metro train is that product that runs within the city. High speed train also runs between the cities, but the speed is very high compared to the intercity train. And next is the railway track. And what are the projects which are already completed or which are running in these products? So for each product, there could be n number of the projects that could be running at the same time. Okay. And for different markets. Okay. Now, the first project that we see here is Vande Bharat, which got finished a few months ago. And for other cities, it is still going on. Okay. The next set of projects which got completed previously is the Central Eastern and the Southern Railway. Here, for these two projects, the main manufacturer is ICF. Coming to the metro train, so Mumbai Metro is a project, Delhi Metro is a project, Bangalore Metro and Chennai Metro are the four projects. And you can see here who are the prime manufacturers: Alstom, Bombardier, Hyundai Rotem, and and sorry, Alstom again for Chennai Metro. And high speed train. High speed train is the project that has just started, which connects Mumbai and Ahmedabad. This project is undertaken by Shinkansen. This is a technology of Japan. L&T is also working with this company to produce this particular product. And the projects that are in the pipeline are Chennai Mysore high speed train, Delhi Varanasi high speed train, Mumbai Nagpur high speed train. And now coming to the next product that is a railway track. The Indian Finance Ministry has announced three projects in this budget. Those are Energy Corridor, Cement Corridor, and the Mineral Corridor. So I hope now we have understood what is the basic difference between a product and the projects. Okay. Now moving on, let's look at the pre-study. Okay, before I start with the pre-study, so this is the first step which generally the product development team follows. Identification of a problem or identification of a need. So for this, you should have a case study. The case study that we will take up in this session is the export of fruits. As we all know that India is one of the major exporter of the fruits and vegetables in the world. And the agency that approves the export of the fruits is APEDA, Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. Okay. Now, what is a fact that is happening? Most of the time, the fruits that are brought for exporting will get rejected. So this is the primary problem. Okay. So you can see that this is the picture of the grapes which got rejected. Okay. Because it is having a very high amount of the residue on its outer surface. Okay. So what is the root cause for this? It is not washed properly. Or even if it is washed properly, still there is some amount of the pesticide residue that is left out and which is very hard to detect manually. Okay, so this is a root cause for this primary problem. Okay, now we have to come up with a solution for this problem. We have found the root cause and now we have to come up with a solution. So a Japanese company came up with a solution for this problem. Before that, we will try to see what was the requirement that was set by that exporter. So he needs a machine to check if there is an acceptable residue left out on the fruit layer after washing. This is the Japanese company which came up with that solution. It is called as Nanbi Instrument Limited. This product is running successfully in Japan, and also most of the exporters in India have also purchased this, and they are using this to export their fruits. What is this machine all about? This is a quality testing machine. What quality it checks? The main function of this machine is to check how much amount of the pesticide residue is present on the fruits. And if it is present within the acceptable limit, it gives a green signal as okay. If it is present out of that acceptable limit, it gives a green signal as not okay. Okay. Yeah, the machine is brought by the exporter, everything is set. Now, this the fruits are put into the hopper here, and this checks the quality of that fruit and gives the green signal as okay and delivers the fruit. Now there is another problem which is associated with this machine. The secondary problem is it is difficult to separate the okay fruits delivered from the QTM machine and collect them. Okay, so this is a secondary problem. So which calls for another input study. Okay, so this is the lot of the apples which needs to be checked. I mean, whose quality needs to be checked before exporting. Okay, so this input study involves 3W and 2H analysis. So, what is this 3W analysis? So, this 3W, each W in this 3W stands for where the problem is occurring, why it is difficult to separate, and what needs to be done. And what are these two H's? How to separate the fruits, and how many fruits are being separated per hour. Okay, now let us see into this one by one. Where the problem is occurring? The problem is occurring at the dispatch area. We have to put this. And why it is difficult to separate? Because the okay and the not okay fruits are coming at the same output. What needs to be done? We have to separate them. We have to separate the okay fruits from the not okay fruits, and they have to be collected in two separate bins. How should we do that? We have to use artificial intelligence to do that. Okay, how many fruits are going to be separated. So we have to separate around 100 kg per hour. So it's a big machine. Okay. So the solution that was figured out for this particular problem is to develop a new product, that is an electromechanical machine which could follow the signals given by the QTM, and based on the signals, it is supposed to trigger a mechanism to separate the okay fruits and collect it in one bin, and to separate not okay fruits and collect it in a separate bin. I hope you got the point. Okay. Yeah. So this is what the uh, identification of the problem is all about, and coming up with a solution for that particular problem. Now, yeah. So this is what this is how the new product initiation gets called. Okay. Yeah. Now moving on. So before developing a new product or before creating a new product, we have to define the product goal. What is a product goal? The product goal is a purpose which the product wishes to fulfill in a certain amount of time. Okay, here the product goal is to design and develop an auto sorting machine that can segregate good and bad fruits and stack them separately. Now let's see what are the product requirements. Receive the fruits and break the falling speed. Sort the fruits based on the input received from the QTM, whether it is okay or not okay. Collect the fruits in a bin, I mean, okay fruits in a separate bin, and reject the not okay fruits in a separate bin. Okay. Yeah. Now, the next step which involves in our pre-study is the market study. So these are the players in the market who are producing a similar types of the product. I mean, it could be the product which is used for packaging. It could be the product used for the filtering of another item. It could be the food processing machine, etc. Okay. So here the processing machine is produced by Ant Technologies, and the product that filters the sand is produced by Murugappa Engineering Works, Coimbatore. Grace processing and packaging machine. So this also does the food processing as well as the packaging. Future Industries Private Limited. They basically produce the material handling equipments. Okay. And let's see what are the opportunities that is available to produce similar kind of machine. Yeah. So we have the mass production items like the cigarette filters, which needs to be sorted based on their quality. So the cigarette filters are the filters which are put behind the cigarettes. We enjoy smoking, isn't it? But it involves a lot of hard work and effort in segregating the cigarette filters itself. Okay. ITC Filterona is one of the company which segregate these filters. Okay. And the other mass production items are the simple L brackets, which are used for the building constructions. Okay. And the vegetables that call for the separation are, this is the mushroom. Basically, there is a high demand of the mushroom outside India. Onions, cauliflowers. These are all the vegetables that are exported from India. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed listening to me in this pre-study video. So if you have any comments or the questions, please ask me. Thank you. Thank you, viewers. My next session will be on the feasibility study, which is the next step in the product design and development process. Stay tuned until then. Bye for now.